now reconvene. Mr. Pay, please call your witness.
This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. The prosecution calls Miss Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand.
Why do birds suddenly appear? What's with the stiff silence?
In my long career as a judge, I've been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit you radiate a glow of complete sincerity.
I can't believe he actually said that.
Oh, now then, witness, can you please state your full name?
Don't worry, sweetie, there's no need to be nervous.
If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size.
And I'll bash them with my gavel.
I love how they look straight at me when they say that. Thank you for calming my nerves. You're all so nice. I feel right at home.
Not at all.
There was nothing.
If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation?
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. Oh, the honor is all mine.
No, the honor's all mine.
Well, we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Real rich coming from you, Miss Double D's.
Sir? Is there something I can help you with?
You go on and say whatever's on your mind.
I'm sure there must be some kind of mistake. Feeny wouldn't kill anyone, I just know it.
Yes, I can see why you'd say that.
She's going to be a tough witness, all right. It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them round her little finger.
Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed the day of the incident, if you please.
I've been planning to go back to Feeny's place after class was over. Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. Then suddenly Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Feeny noticed I was there. He went to go and find some other students and they called the... Whoops. I went to go and find some other students and they called the authorities.
I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong.
Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of young passion can burn. Nevertheless, it's my job to discover the truth. Please tell us the truth. But I would never.
That's more enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue.
What do you mean by that?
Please just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honour. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies.
You haven't changed a bit, Mere Faye. What's this? So you two are acquainted?
Yes, we've met before. Once.
In any case, Miss Faye, the floor is all yours.
It's good to see you again, Madame Faye. Madame? I'm no one's grandma yet, girlie. And you never will be. Did I say that? Now, unless I'm mistaken, Mr. Wright is in the art department. It If that's the case, what were you doing by the pharmacology building?
Well, I'm in the literature department. I'm singing Japanese Senryu poetry.
Oh, how wonderful! Isn't that humorous yet satirical style of haiku, yes?
Nothing left to do when a man reaches his age. Sleep is his best friend.
That's supposed to be poetry. Sounds more like a midlife crisis.
For me to get to the art department, I have to walk through that back area.
I see, that makes sense. When I want to enter the courthouse, I always go through the front doors.
How else would you enter? Teleportation?
So who's this Dougie person?
Oh, I'm sorry. Doug Swallow. We were dating until about 8 months ago.
So what were Dougie... Mr. Swallow and Mr. Wright talking about anyway?
How can you be so mean? I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined. That's right, Miss Fay.
Don't drag the witness down to your level.
Why am I being demonized here?
Please go on, what did you say next?
Then suddenly Dougie got wobbly and just collapsed.
Are you saying the victim just collapsed on his own?
Yeah.
In other words, the defendant never touched the victim, is that right?
I was watching the whole time. Feeney never did a thing to Dougie.
If I press her for no good reason, I know the judge will get angry with me. What should I do about her testimony just now? Feeble lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we?
What? I would never. Miss Fay, I will not allow you to badger this witness. I believe the defence is engaged in a fishing expedition. That is, she has no supporting... Please don't glare at me like that, I'm just doing my job.
Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did in fact push the victim.
What?
There's no need to try and cover for the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth.
There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything you saw.
Yes, Your Honour. I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony.
Looks like we're finally getting somewhere.
Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie.
You didn't see it?
Well, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground. At that time, there was only the two of them at the scene. The defendant, Felix Wright, and the victim, Doug Swallow. Yes, that's right. It didn't look like they were fighting, and I didn't hear anything unusual either.
So then what did it look like they were doing to you?
I thought they were having a nice, friendly afternoon conversation.
Oh, give me a break.
That's why I really wasn't watching them all that close.
Did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all?
No, nothing at all, Mr. Judge.
Oh, I like the sound of that, Mr. Judge. Now then, please proceed with your testimony.
When you say students, you mean students from the pharmacology department?
Yes, they're all very fond of their drugs.
Please try to stay on topic. So to find some pharmacology students, you went to the labs, correct? That's what I was planning to do, but in the end I wound up not going. A group of about 10 research students came running out the building. Somehow they all seemed to know what was going on. Students knew what was going on. But how could the students have known what was going on? Well, I don't know for sure that they knew what had happened. It's just they all seemed kind of excited about something. So I'm not going to get any more info about the students. So did the students call the police?
Excuse me.
Yeah, I was just so panicked.
Anyone would have been, my dear.
This girl's telling a super obvious lie and she knows it. She's pretending to protect Mr. Right. Yes, that's gotta be it. Way to go, Mia. Okay, that means we're gonna have to dig deep to find the contradiction on this one. The victim fell on top of his umbrella. There was a loud sound when it happened. I didn't hear anything unusual either. You say you didn't hear anything unusual, is that correct? Yes, that's why I was very relaxed looking at the scenery around me. That's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright, and he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that? If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear the noise as well? Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable. According to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that would fail to make an impression. May I have a moment to answer?
By all means.
I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. The truth is, I had my headphones on and I was listening to music at the time. Headphones? You mean both your ears were covered? The rain was just beginning to let up, but it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet, so the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh? Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder, so I put my headphones on to block it out. Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all. Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now, she said something that would totally change the whole case. Your Honor, there's a problem with the witness's testimony.
What do you mean?
Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct?
What about it?
Lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right?
Now's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Fay.
Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, the cause of death was electrocution. Isn't it possible the victim died from being hit by the bolt of lightning?
I must admit the thought had not occurred to me.
What kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? This entire case is built on the premise Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered. But that very premise itself is mistaken. The defence believes Mr. Swallow was in fact the victim of a stray bolt.
Appears the defence may be onto something. Could it be the death was actually accidental?
but you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty now if you...
I've heard you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Fay.
Huh?
I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution's done its research, Your Honour. We found there were no lightning strikes on the day at that location.
What?
What's more, we have evidence the electrical cable's definitely linked to the case.
Evidence, Mr. Payne? What's this evidence?
This affidavit.
And who's this affidavit from?
The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in the labs that day. Allow me to read to the court the testimony of the students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day.
Was it a blackout?
All the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honour.
So you say the equipment lost power because...
Precisely. They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred around approximately 3 p.m.
Which fits the time of death listed in the autopsy report.
Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future.
Oh, I see.
Apparently the cables had become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break.
However, there's one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, it wouldn't have snapped if it had not been bumped into, correct?
Well, I suppose you could say that.
Miss Fay, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable?
Your Honour, I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try and regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defence would like to state its opinion.
Let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break?
I'm thinking the umbrella. This is it. This is why the cable snapped.
Well, Your Honour?
I believe the only thing that snapped is the mind of defence. Fuck.
Ah, that was one of your best lines yet, Your Honour.
That was harsh. Please, Your Honour, give me one more chance. Huh.
Who or what?
Damn it. Your Honour, please turn back to Mr. Wright's testimony.
The defendant's testimony?
He said after he pushed the victim he heard a loud sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 p.m, correct?
That sounds right. Are you saying that...
The lab equipment lost power at 2:55, which fits right in with Mr. Wright's timeline. In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage. But doesn't that make him guilty again?
The prosecution also came to that conclusion. It was on the very shot that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted.
I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne.
What's that supposed to mean?
Take a good look where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. The victim banged into that pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break.
Well, that makes sense. Then the victim was electrocuted.
I'm sorry, Your Honour, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, he couldn't have been electrocuted by this severed cable in the foreground here. In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim.
Order! Order in the court!
Ah, the lamentations of my enemy, how I've longed to hear them.
It's true, the defence is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way the defendant could have...
Mr. Judge, sir, may I say something? The Madam Attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them.
What?
What the... Please, just once more. May I please testify one last time? Please, Mr. Judge.
Of course it's all right. Go ahead and give your new testimony.
This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colours.
The truth is, Feeney pushed him twice. The first time was into the electrical pole, when the cable broke. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him, but Feeney caught up and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted all occurred in less than a minute.
So after being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away.
And that's when the defendant pushed him for the second time. I'm so sorry, Feeney. I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing, Mr. Judge?
Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it may seem, you are. Now then, Miss Fay, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Miss Hawthorne, previously in your testimony you said the following. I didn't see the moment you pushed Dougie.
I know. I'm sorry. I wanted to protect Feeney.
So that's why you lied to the court?
I was a bad girl, I know. Mr. Judge,
Yes?
would you please forgive little old me?
Of course he won't. What you did is called perjury.
Oh, come on now. It's just a little old white lie. We'll forget it this time, but please be more careful from now on, all right?
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Judge.
Not at all.
This judge had better be more careful himself. A dark alley's funnier than that girl. You're saying you actually saw the victim get pushed into the electrical pole?
I know he don't look it, but Feeney can be a bit of an imp when he wants to be.
Oh, really?
But I never imagined he would cause an electrical cable to break. Feeney really is scary when he gets mad.
Yes, he sounds like a very dangerous individual indeed.
So let me get it straight. You were just happily listening to music on your headphones while you watched this scene unfold.
What? Miss Fay, I'll have to ask you to stop badgering the witness. I wasn't happy. I was so scared I couldn't move. All I could do was stand there and cheer them on.
Cheer them on? What do you mean by that?
Well, I wish the best for them both and they'd give each other the fight they're all.
It's very sweet of you to be so supportive.
And what happened after that?
That doesn't sound quite right. There were handprints around the chest of the victim's leather jacket. Mr. Payne, were there also prints found on the back of the leather jacket?
Well, no, there weren't.
Madame Faye, may I suggest you listen a little more carefully? I said he crashed into him from behind, right? Matthew, he wouldn't leave any prints behind in that case, would he? No, it didn't. There's a 5-minute gap. Did you actually witness the moment the victim was electrocuted? I'm sorry, I didn't actually see it. I turned my eyes away.
That's understandable.
Indeed. It would have been a horrific sight for anyone to behold.
If I don't figure out the contradiction here, it's all over. She didn't have much time to come up with her lies, so this was my best chance. There has to be a hole in her testimony somewhere. Think, Mia. Cause of death, 3 p.m. Power outage, 2:55. That's enough, witness. I'm afraid I don't understand. You were in a minute. Can you please look at this picture? Oh, that medicine. That's the one Finny likes to take for his cold. It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m.
Yes, your point is, Miss Faye.
My point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered the power outage due to the cable snapping?
Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is 2:55. Whoa!
Would you care to explain to the court, Miss Delia Hawthorne, what exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? The defence proposes it was during this interval the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow.
Order in the court!
This is nonsense, real murderer.
You can't even deny the time between the cable breaking and the electrocution. They are completely unaccounted for.
Who was it? Who are you saying could have done it?
There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene, there was a window of opportunity for the real killer.
Miss Faye, is the defence ready to indict someone on this real killer?
It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honour, we are ready.
Very well, but remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalised. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Faye. Who is the real killer?
It can only have been you, Dahlia Hawthorne.
What? How can you? The defence is grasping at straws.
10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of the electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you listening to some music or cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you.
Order! Order! Miss Faye! What, I mean, why, as to say,
Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting that day. However, after Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your own hands.
Ah! How can you say something so mean, Madam Fay? I didn't do anything.
Miss Fay, this is a very serious charge.
Your Honour, please, I have something I want to say.
You? What is it?
Please strike everything the defence just said from the record.
What the? Are you daft?
You're totally wrong, Miss Fay. Dollie, she couldn't do something like that.
Mr. Wright, get back in your seat. Bailiff, grab that man.
Ah! Leave my Dollie alone. That boy.
He's got his something way over his head.
Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back.
See, though, right, just in the nick of time. I found the police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping.
Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Location, courthouse cafeteria. Date and time. Blah, blah, blah. Victim, Diego Armando. Suspect, Dahlia Hawthorne. Armando ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Trace of poison found in the victim's coffee cup. No poison found in the vicinity or on the suspect's person. It's unclear how the poison entered the victim's coffee cup.
You better take a good look at it. It, details how you came to lose your boyfriend. Now then, the defence has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, really, Your Honour, that is... May I interrupt you for a moment, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't you worry, my dear. I have the situation well in hand. That is, you can go right ahead. Madame Fay, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie?
Yes, I am. Not only am I saying you murdered Doug Swallow, you tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright.
I told you should let me handle this. Sorry, please go ahead. How can you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion I would try to frame him is ludicrous. This is all too much for little old me to bear.
I believe the girl's trying to ask what on earth her motive would be.
The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement cafeteria of this building. And then, that same day, the two of them accidentally meet. The necklace is the poison. Your Honour, the defence requests further testimony from Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Further testimony? What about?
About the events of the day she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What could that possibly have to do with this case?
The witness claims she has no reason to frame the defendant, am I correct? I have evidence to suggest she in fact has good reason.
Very well then, the court grants the defence's request. Young lady, would you mind staying on just a bit longer?
Of course not, Mr. Judge. Get ready for the battle of your life, Dahlia Hawthorne.
First, I met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day.
We were so lovey-wovey, we literally made people sick. It's just jealousy, I think.
Mr. Wright, do that again and you'll be held in contempt of court.
Now we enter the final act of this little drama.
And you used to stay the days of my youth. Go get her.
So until that time you've been dating Doug Swallow?
Yeah, I'm a real fool, I know. Letting my emotions change so quickly, I'm ashamed of myself.
No, not at all. Look at me, I'm infamous for changing my mind. My critics have even taken to calling me Judge Fickle.
Maybe you should look for a different line of work.
Despite that, however, he always hands down the correct verdict. That's why some people also call him the Great Judini.
The courthouse reading room, that's a strange place to meet the love of your life.
That's not true, Madam Faye. After all, Feeny was not only an art student, but also planning on becoming a lawyer.
I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. What was a literature student like you doing in a courtroom reading room?
This line of questioning is a waste of time. It has nothing to do with our murder case.
Miss Faye, I'm warning you, if this has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case.
I remember the judging on Dollie's side, I better tread carefully. Your Honour, if you'll allow me some latitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue with her testimony.
Very well. Young lady, I've got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room?
If it pleases Your Honour, the answer's simply this. I'd come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing.
You were writing a paper on what?
On the relationship between modern scenery poetry and the criminal underworld.
Oh, that sounds like a fascinating research idea.
Am I getting old? Now I've even forgotten what I've forgotten. Again with the midlife crisis stuff.
Mia, why did that girl really come to this courthouse? Isn't that what you wanted to know? Speaking of forgetting things, you haven't forgotten the police report, have you? Went for a little trouble to get it, my dear, so you better read it carefully.
Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of your research paper, were you? Did you actually come here for a much more important reason?
What's the meaning of that cocky smile on your face, Miss Faye?
8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse, there was another tragedy.
Another tragedy?
You mean the incident in which an attorney was poisoned?
The name of the suspect in that incident is listed here in the report. And the name is Dollie Hawthorne.
What? Dollie Hawthorne?
Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eye, Miss Dollie Hawthorne. She's the prime suspect in a criminal case just 8 months ago.
Order! Order! This is unbelievable! It's true then, the loveliest rose can bear the cruelest thorn.
Miss Faye, that's not fair. You can't stand on my witness to an unrelated case. I, Winston Payne, will not allow it.
Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking.
Pardon me. Go right ahead.
It's true about 8 months ago. The police expressed some interest in me.
Express some interest, huh?
Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the crime that occurred during the incident 8 months ago.
I see.
Okay, I've tied the two crimes together. Now I'm just going to stay on the offensive.
Well done, Mia. Oh, you're really the fire in my heart. And my buttocks.
Again, don't need to know.
I can't tell which is in flesh.
All right, all right. I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that's lethal at just 2 teaspoons. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. I think you do.
So that's what happened here 8 months ago.
As you heard from the witness's testimony, she had nothing to do with it. I think the defence is just about out of tricks.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Payne, but I'm afraid the defence has many more tricks up its sleeve today. And I'll be sure to show them to you before the end of this cross-examination.
Why does the defence suddenly feel stronger?
Nia, you're playing with a true lawyer's aura, my dear. The proud posture and the self-confidence absolutely smashing.
What were you talking about with the defence attorney? Well, I'm sorry, but that's confidential.
According to a report, you were being interviewed regarding another case.
The lawyer that was killed said he wanted to talk about an incident I was caught up with when I was younger. Why don't you tell us what the incident was?
That has absolutely nothing to do at all with this case.
Objection sustained. The defence's question stricken from the record.
You get involved in a lot of incidents, don't you, Miss Hawthorne? I guess I was just born under a bad sign. Don't worry, Dollie, I'll protect you.
You heard the man. That's true love, young lady.
Oh, Phoenix, please.
Ugh.
Those two really are making me ill, albeit for decidedly different reasons. Oops. How long were you gone? I already answered all these questions for the police. If you must know, maybe about 10 or 20 minutes. And where were you during that stretch of time? Using the toilet? What are you saying, Miss Fay? Toilet? My perfect little Dollie doesn't poop. Oh my god, Phoenix, you fucking idiot.
You heard the defendant, Miss Fay. Better luck next time.
Oh, Phoenix, please.
The police already looked into the whole matter. This line of questioning is nothing but a waste of the court's time.
Objection sustained. Miss Hawthorne, please continue with your testimony.
About how much liquid is in 2 teaspoons?
Let me see. A bottle of eye drops says it's half a fluid ounce, which is equal to 3 teaspoons.
So 2/3 of that amount, huh? The poison was found in the lawyer's mug of coffee. It must have been after I left the table. Someone must have quietly slipped it in there. A special kind of poison? How so? I've heard it's almost impossible to detect.
And where would something like that come from?
I'm sorry, all I know is what I overheard the policeman saying. They said something about using an advanced chemical process to purify it.
Chemical processes. Oh well, that's quite impressive. Most impressive.
Bad question is, how'd the criminal get something like that? And that's the reason they didn't arrest you? Because no one could show how much you'd got in poison?
No one could show how you'd gotten the poison?
I think that's a good enough reason, Madam Fay.
She's right, and I think we've all had enough of Miss Fay's questions.
So yes, it's the main reason Miss Hawthorne was there arrested for this crime, was because no one could show how she could have obtained the poison.
All we have to do is find a way to establish how she could have got some, right? Now just how did this literature student get hold of poison of all things? You wouldn't know how to get that kind of poison? I don't believe you.
What?
In fact, you had easy access to that kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab.
Boyfriend? You mean the victim, Doug Swallow?
That's right. Up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. And if you recall, Mr. Swallow was a pharma student at Ivy University.
Pharmacology?
His laboratory contained highly advanced chemistry equipment. Without such equipment, the culprit could never have obtained such a rare and special poison. Well, Miss Hawthorne, seems you had access to such poison after all. And then it was a matter of slipping it in the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done that was the one sitting at this very table. You.
No!
Order! Order! Could it be?
That's nothing but a base to some...
May I say something, Madam Fay?
What is it, Miss Hawthorne?
The amount of poison in the coffee was 2 teaspoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you need some kind of container.
Yes, that's true.
I was searched immediately after the incident took place.
Quite true. The entire courthouse was turned upside down.
But they didn't find a suspicious container anywhere, did they?
She's right. They even mentioned it in the report.
Well, you could have easily gotten rid of something that small. Excuse me, madam, but this is a court of law. If you're saying I threw the poison container away, I think you need to show some kind of proof.
Proof? She got me good with that.
Provide some evidence or I have to disallow the line of questioning, Miss Fay. Let them come with some evidence, we're going to lose this lead.
The police conducted a full-body search of Dollie and the entire courthouse. Yet the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred.
You're going to accuse the young lady of committing the murder. Where's the container the poison was carried in? What happened to it?
You were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's why you passed it on to someone that had nothing to do with the case. Someone you knew wouldn't be searched.
Who's this person?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course.
The defendant was this witness's accomplice?
Of course not. She gave the poison to him, disguised as a present.
What? But that's...
That's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? It's really quite cute. So what about it? What do you mean, Miss Fay?
The day the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright was 8 months ago, August 27th, the same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. All for the purpose of hiding the one piece of evidence that would give her away.
What? You say there's a deadly poison in here?
No, there's no longer any poison in that bottle. However, I'm certain if the crime lab were to analyse it, they would find a trace amount.
Order in the court!
On behalf of Dollie, I object.
Mr. Wright, control yourself.
I won't let you bully her like this.
Mr. Wright, I thought I told you to stay in your seat.
Mr. Wright, why? Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her? Why? Because I'm madly in love with her.
Madly in love. I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time.
Mr. Wright, have you ever thought that this is exactly... Why exactly would a woman like Dahlia Hawthorne want to date you anyway? Well, I guess she must be madly in love with me too. Mr. Wright, please open your eyes. At this point in the trial, I think it should be obvious to everyone the real reason Dahlia Hawthorne is dating you is because of the necklace. She was not and is not madly in love with you. The only thing she's after is the bottle necklace you wear around your neck. My necklace? Back there in the waiting room, you said it yourself. She's so shy, every time I see her she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now.
A strange girl asking for a present back like that.
For Dahlia Hawthorne, the necklace is irrefutable evidence of her crime. That's why she absolutely had to get it back. You're lying. But you never gave it back to her. To make things worse for her, you insisted on showing it to everyone you met. That's why she... I don't believe you.
No, that's a lie! Mia, are you alright?
The defendant's getting away.
Bailiff, hurry after him! Mia, are you alright?
Yes, I think so.
That boy went completely insane!
Where's Mr. Wright?
Looks like the bailiff caught him. He should be back soon enough.
Thank goodness. Oh no.
What is it?
The bottle necklace. Miss Hawthorne's present. It's gone.
What? That's terrible.
Mr. Wright must have grabbed it when he slammed into me.
Foolish boy. The only thing that could have saved him. What in the blazes are we supposed to do now?